Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Fratello Talks. I'm your host Nacho, and today I'm joined by
Thomas
and
Daan.
We're going to be talking about some watches that we really enjoy under 2,500 euros. I think the title will be something like the best watches under 2,500 euros, but there's a lot of them.
Subjective.
There's a lot of them, and there's a lot of ways you could go below 2,500, right? I mean, that leaves anything from F91W up to, some of these that come a little closer to the price point. So obviously, I think most of us will be aiming high within that bracket, but so we'll see what we've got in the bag today. I think we've all picked three. Of course, before we get into it, let's do a little bit of a wrist check. Dan, what is on your wrist today?
Yes, I'm wearing my 6105 8000 Seiko diver.
Very
from
nice.
1968.
68, cool.
Yep.
Nice.
And I really like it.
Yeah, that thing is awesome. That thing is so cool.
I really like the crystal on it. It's got a big chamfer, and yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah. That really even patina on the loom, and it matches the strap nicely. The case is in really good condition. The bezel looks great as well, and it's a good one.
It's a bit loose, but
It's bidirectional.
Exactly.
Yeah, cool. And Thomas, what is on your wrist today?
I'm back to old habits.
Yes.
I'm wearing the VPC Type 37 HW in Dove Grey.
Very nice, very nice. Let's hope you change your underpants more often than you change your watch.
A little bit, yeah.
A little
about twice as often.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's still not much. But anyway, yes. And I have my.
He's got three different colors, right?
No, that's
So-
true. That's true. That's true. Of
Honestly,
watches?
I only wear this one.
Oh, he only wears the gray one.
Yeah, that is a great looking one. But you surprised us a few weeks ago with the green, with the forest green version, but
And the prototype later on.
and the prototype as well.
Dun,
Yeah,
dun,
so
dun, dun,
yeah,
dun.
we
There's
see some
much more
variety.
variety than, yeah.
All right. And I am wearing my Caravelle Devil Diver is the nickname. It's the Sea Hunter dive watch from 1970. I believe this one is dated specifically to 1970 by the little weird Bulova Caravelle serial number system on the back.
Cool.
And it's still on this. It's not an original bracelet, but it fits it nicely. And it's
Clasp is so petite.
It's really small. I
Yeah.
think it's something like 14 millimeters at the clasp.
It looks
Something like that,
narrower.
but it's
Yeah,
it
it
might
looks
be
even
might be narrower. I
Yeah, I
haven't
think so.
haven't measured it. But what I really like is that it steps down from 20, and then it really takes like a drastic leap down into the bracelet. So it's a nice
and it's a stretchy one, right?
nice profile. Yeah, it has a little bit of stretch. I'll show the folks when I do the wrist roll, and but it's a good one. We're both on a vintage diver.
Yeah, very
kick,
cool.
It seems.
They're very cool, both.
Nice. And both probably under 2,500, right? So very,
Yes.
very thematically relevant. Thomas, I believe we should address the elephant in the room, which is that you are technically disqualified here.
Why?
VPC Type 37 HD.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah, no,
slightly
it is.
it's slightly over the price point.
Yeah.
So it's
I advertise
is,
it without VAT because I have a lot of international customers.
yeah,
so
that's
it's
it.
and then
Yeah.
ex VAT, it's actually just under.
Mm.
But that's in practice it isn't.
No
So,
can do.
No, I won't.
well, that's a shame. But hey, maybe for when we do under 5K, right? Then we can
Exactly.
put it in
I'll
there.
dominate that segment.
Exactly. And another thing to kind of talk about with this specific price point is that it's actually quite a tricky one
Mhm.
because there are a ton of watches that are within the price point, of course. But of course, when you aim at this specific segment, you try to go above 1,000. Above 1,500 and below 2,500, of course. And that's when things get a little bit tricky, right?
Yeah.
It seems like there's a lot. It seems like there should be many watches that just off the top of your head, you're able to list plenty of them, but it actually becomes a bit of a tricky task to find at least really, really good ones. I don't know. It was more of a challenge than I thought when we set out to do it. But
It's also that a lot of watches from that segment have crept up to almost like 5 by
Yeah.
now.
also
Like I happen to be writing an article on Longines Legend Diver, the 39 millimeter just now.
Yeah.
In my head, it should be around 2,500.
Yeah,
It's actually
totally.
3,800.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
That's it. I think also having some of those like established references
Yeah.
in mind really doesn't
They're
help
all
because
wrong.
you think surely this is that much, and
No,
then
not
it
anymore.
isn't, right? That happened to me with the Doxa Sub 250T GMT, which recently came out, but of course that's like 90 euros
Oh, yeah.
on the bracelet above, and I think 50 euros on the rubber above. And you think, yeah, that's just ever so slightly above. And what we'll see with some of our picks, and we'll get into it soon, I promise, is that they come in actually quite far below 2,500,
Yeah.
right?
Some of
That
them,
like
yeah.
2,000 to 2,500 price point is pretty empty actually. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, without further ado, let's get started with the first one. Daan, what is your first
Yeah.
pick?
I'll start with my most affordable pick, which is the
Mm-hmm.
Mido Multifort 8 2 crowns,
Oh yeah, cool.
which we saw in Utrecht
Mhm.
at the Swatch Valley event. And I was immediately like grabbed by it when the representative had it on his wrist.
Yep.
And I really liked it. It's a 1,220 euro watch on the bracelet.
Mhm.
It's very thin at 9.5 millimeters, which I
It's
really
the
like.
modern looking one, right?
And it's the modern,
Yeah.
It has a nice texture on the dial. Cool colors as well, like dark blue and the light blue.
It's a sort of,
icy blue
yeah.
kind of one.
Yeah.
And I really liked it, especially on the rubber brace, the rubber strap actually.
We were all pleasantly surprised with
Yeah.
that. It was a bit unexpected
Yeah.
because we were looking at other watches on the table and he had this on his wrist and we all kind of noticed and thought, oh, that's
We were all waiting for him to
interesting.
tell something about what he had on his wrist. And,
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. So no, that was definitely a good one. And it reminds me actually, we're talking about watches that are available now as we're recording this.
Yeah, actually,
not
when
pre-owned.
when you announced this podcast or the subject of the podcast, I thought it had to be watches that came out this year.
Because I said in
So,
You had us
2025.
stressed out, Nacho.
2025. So,
I know.
Yeah, all my watches actually came out this year. So,
Okay, cool,
People
cool.
kept it.
Hey, well then they came out this year. You know they're available. So
They're
then
available,
it's yeah.
None of mine did, contrastingly. So that's
Oh, interesting.
great.
Yeah.
Interesting. I think I'm about half and half. So perfect. All things work out.
But,
Cool. No, but that
that's
Mido
my-
is a good pick to kick us off with. Thomas, what about you? What's your first pick?
My first pick is slightly off the beaten path. It's from a microbrand, and it's
Okay.
a Lorca Model 1 GMT.
Very nice.
It costs 1,500 something
Mhm.
euros.
Mhm.
I actually have the precise number written on the table, as I did when I did tests in high school.
1587.
1587.95. There you go. No, but it's sort of a Gata style GMT, vintage inspired. It's 36 millimeters, if I'm correct, powered by a Soprod collar GMT caliber.
Mhm.
But I think it's just really lovely vintage styling. I mean, the brand is run by Jesse Merchant, and we've all had a chance to meet him and chat with him, and he's just a lovely guy, and he's putting his heart into this brand, and it's niche, it's small, it really resonates with me as
Yep.
as VPC's owner. It's just sort of I feel connected with it.
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful. It's original. It would be my pick as my first pick, and
Cool.
the
Great
one
one.
to get, to be honest.
Yeah. Really,
Cool.
really great one.
Yeah.
They recently did a chronograph, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
How much was that?
That's over budget.
It's over budget.
Yeah.
Okay.
And frankly, I kind of prefer the GMT. I think it's a little bit more unique still.
Yeah, it's more original.
but
maybe,
yeah, but the chronograph is really good as well. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's well made, and it's very charming.
Both really great watches. I'm definitely a Lorca fan, and really appreciate what Jesse has done with the brand. And it's always one to look forward to whenever there's news, and it doesn't happen very often, which I think I also can appreciate that he sort of follows a more natural pace of releases. It's not just rushing stuff out, which is nice. It goes to show the thoughtfulness that goes into it, and a very cool pick at the
and
price
he
point.
seems to be growing organically as well. You
Yeah.
know, it's just he's taking his time and he's doing it the right way, and
For
it
sure.
makes it very likable and very. You want him to succeed, you know. So that's
Cool. Very nice. My first pick, speaking of brands that kind of give us that similar feeling, it's the Serica 5303 PLD. which actually, as we record this, comes out tomorrow. But this comes out next
just
week.
reviewed it.
People will have already found out about it. This is a very cool new take on Serica's Diver, which has been designed and made in collaboration with the Plongeurs Démineurs, which is the mine removal Navy divers, which just sounds completely insane. That your job is to get rid of high explosives underwater. That seems like these guys are really doing something crazy and putting their lives on the line, and looking good while doing it with a Serica wristwatch on their wrist. I really like it. I think the new scales on the bezel, as well as the color of the ceramic element, is really, really good. It's this very dark blue ceramic that still shines really bright in the sun. The color just pops in the sun, and I like the scale. It's a bit it's like a bit of a no deco scale and no decompression, and I think it's just really cool for me as someone who scuba dives and who appreciates the sort of the nerdy aspect of dive watches. I think that's a really great one,
and it comes on your favorite strap.
Well, it comes on a nice nice sort of elastic Marine Nationale style strap, so that's always a nice touch.
I had one issue with it, which was conceptual. Like,
right,
Serica to me is this really suave, elegant Parisian brand.
Mm-hmm.
And now all of a sudden they're in bed with the bomb squad, you know?
Yeah, but apparently they do quite some editions for...
no, but I mean, that's all fine. And I get why they would, but it doesn't really sort of... I associate that sort of stuff with Zin and with brands like that.
Yeah.
And I had that vibe wearing the watch. It had a little bit of a split personality. Like, it's a bit too stylish or something.
Right.
For being a bomb clearance squad. Yeah. I just sort of felt like a little bit of a split personality there, which is it's all good because you can sweep minds looking good, but
true. No, there is some refinement to it with those sort of polished chamfers and stuff. Yeah. Whereas, like, for example, another watch that's been sort of designed with a French Navy divers, the Pelagos, right? The FXT, the blue one, the original. That's very matte and very sort of no nonsense and all brushed, that kind of thing. So that I see that's a bit more modern, but obviously this one falling in line with Serica's more like vintage design aesthetics or design cues. It does have a bit of like this juxtaposed thing, especially with like modern Navy divers, right, who are probably wearing like a big dive computer on the other wrist and that kind of thing. So but I think it's really cool, and it's that one comes in at $16.90, so definitely well below the price point, and it's not my most affordable one, but it's definitely well within the price point that we're talking about. Cool. Dan, what is your second pick?
Yes, the next two are quite close to each other in terms of price, but I think I'll take the Tag Heuer Formula One Solar Graph first, which sells for $17.50 on a rubber strap and $18.50 on the stainless steel bracelet.
Nice.
I saw these on the press release, and I immediately was drawn to these watches. I think they're 100 meters water resistant. There's a sapphire glass. 15 years of battery power. So I think these are great for an everyday do anything watch. And the price might be a bit high for maybe a solar powered quartz piece, but I think these like the construction is quite good. Stainless steel case with the bracelet, and I think the 38 millimeter size is very nice because the vintage one used to be 35,
34, depending where you measured. But they were very small.
Also, I think the kit ones they did this year, they were also like the limited ones, right?
Were they that size, or were they already a little bit bigger?
I think they were the smaller size.
Really? Okay.
I tried it at a get together. I think it was quite small. But the 38 millimeter size for these new ones is really nice. And there are some regular models.
Yes.
I think I like the one with the black bezel and the white dial the most.
Yeah.
But there's also a limited edition, or a few limited editions actually coming out at Formula One weekends.
Yeah, true. Timed with the Grand Prix, right? Yeah.
And there's one with a black rubber strap and numerals, which has the same white dial.
Yeah.
Which I quite like. But yeah, I'm not sure how hard it's going to be to get your hands on one of those limited editions. But let's see.
No, those are cool, and definitely, I think, where people criticize them is they maybe think back to the price. I don't know if they think back to the original price of the ones that came out in the 80s, or the price that those fetch today pre-owned, which of course is a lot less. But to be honest, I have to say for the upgrade that you get with these modern ones, I mean they feel a lot more sturdy, well, infinitely more sturdy, and better built than those ones. I owned one of the original ones with the loom dial, which is kind of cool, but I had it for about, I think, a little bit less than a year, and in the end I thought, well, I don't really wear it. It's a little bit too small. It's cool, but yeah, I sold it right before they made a comeback, so I should have waited. I should have waited a little bit, but anyway.
It's too bad they didn't do another full loom dial.
Yeah, I think
would've been
that's. I mean, I hope that they'll capitulate on that at some point. That they'll take advantage of it. But I don't know. It does feel like
maybe at one of the nighttime Grand Prix.
Yeah, there you go. That's perfect.
That could be nice.
That's exactly. That's what they should do. No, but that's also a cool pick. Very nice. Cool. Thomas, what is your second pick?
My second pick is from Watches and Wonders, but last year, 2024, when Nomos released the Tangente 38 in 31 colors, if I'm not mistaken.
31 flavors. No,
31
colors.
flavors,
Right,
colors. Yeah, all these crazy color combinations, but really sort of cleverly considerately paired color combos. So I thought I'd pick one of those because I really like them. They're 2,020 euros, so they are within budget. 38 millimeters. And my pick would be the Schloss Grün.
Schlossgrün.
Nice.
Schloss Grün, which is a really bright, sort of slightly bluish green. I think it looks really fresh and summery and nice. So I think that's a fun second pick.
Cool. Yeah.
If I may say so myself.
They all taste the same, so it's fine.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a question of,
it's all a bit metallic and
and
leathery.
I can't say I tried them, but I can
I
imagine.
did. You tried. I always do when
That's
Nomos
good.
come out. Yeah.
The sniff test and the lick test for all the watches.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
nice.
Yeah, those are really nice, and they were definitely for me, I think, more than a couple that I really enjoyed from the color combinations, and those are really cool. It's always nice to see those, and and Nomos always has a way to combine colors that is just really tasteful.
Yeah.
So nice, cool. Cool. Yeah, my second pick is the Aquastar Airstar Chronograph 60th Anniversary Re-Edition. That's quite a mouthful, but essentially it is another version of a dive chronograph that Aquastar released, I believe, last year with a black DLC or PVD case, and now they've done just a full steel version with a steel bezel, I think it's currently available for pre-order at 1,738 euros. I think those get delivered sometime in September, and then later on they will retail at 2,290. Which
what caliber is in there?
It's a Valjoux 7753 based movement. Yeah. So I believe I think they're 39 millimeters, and I think they'll probably be a little bit thick. They'll probably be around 14 millimeter mark. I'm not sure. I couldn't find the information on the website, but still, I think that those usually have worn their proportions well. And I really like the look of the original. In my list last year for best watches under 2,500, I put in the Aquastar Model 60, which is just a diver with a steel bezel in these I think 37 millimeters. And nice. This is kind of the dive chronograph version of that. There's some really nice fonts on the dial. There's just a really great look to it, and I love it. It's a two register chronograph. That's just it's a good looking thing.
I think it's a matter of time before you add a diving chronograph to your collection, right?
I think
it's
so.
A bit of a favorite genre of yours, isn't it?
It's like that and a dive GMT, right? There's Doxa's putting a lot on the table, Aquastar's putting a lot on the table, so there's definitely
you like the Zodiac?
I like the Zodiac as well. That's a really cool one. Yeah, true. I've spent some time in the summer with that on a white Tropic strap. That was pretty good. So yeah, it's also a good option. That could I don't know if that would make the cut actually price wise,
Yeah,
but
I'm not sure.
potentially. But hey, it gets a little mention here, so there it is. Cool. No, yeah, but that Aquastar is my pick for my second pick.
Got it.
Cool. Thomas, sorry, Dan, what is your third pick?
Yeah, my
I
third
get you
pick
guys mixed up all the time.
is
so.
How?
No.
is the Timex Giorgio Galli S2
Oh.
Ti titanium, a 38 millimeter watch, fully made out of titanium except for the mid case, which is carbon.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just think that for 1,950 euros, this is a very original kind of watch, especially from Timex. It's limited to 500 pieces, and I'm surprised it's still not sold out for a
Right.
brand like Timex. It's been out now for a few months, and yeah, it's still there. It's 12 millimeters thick, 46 millimeters lug to lug, and it's very under the radar. It's very
Yeah.
gray
Yeah.
when you have it on your wrist, but yeah, I kind of like it. It's it has like a oyster style bracelet, which is has a system which makes it very easy to switch out.
Oh yeah, of course.
the links. And
Two of your watches have that system, right?
Because
Because I think the Tag Heuer also. No. Sorry, it was
it's
the Carreras.
It's the Carrera.
Yeah, the new Carreras that used
time onlys. They also have the same system.
It's like a spring-loaded link, right?
True,
You
yeah.
just pull it, and then it swivels on one of the two posts, and then you can just take out the link from the other side.
It's
or
a
something.
toolless
Sizing
system, and it's very nice. And yeah, I think like the Giorgio Gallis from Timex are nice looking watches
Mhm.
with the skeletonized case sides and or lugs, and yeah, I think yeah, they're a nice option.
Yeah, solid
for
pick.
this price.
What was the price point on that one again?
1950.
1950. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the things that when it came out, people were a bit like, Timex for $2,000 bucks,
for
right?
sure.
I mean,
It was a bit.
that was the thing that kind of, I think, shocked people. But
It's
to be
cheap.
honest, when you look at all the specs, everything it does, how it looks, and I think that it's really a lot of watch, even considering the price.
And I think every time you visit the Timex website, you get a 15% discount on your next order. So
that's a
it's,
Fratello Talks top tip right
exactly. It's a good discount on €2,000.
there. Use
watch,
discount
so,
code DAN.
exactly. Yeah.
Daan
I get
15.
some
DAN 15.
commission as well.
Cool,
No,
cool.
I don't.
Nice. Affiliate links in the description.
Exactly. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, that's a really cool pick.
But
Nice.
yeah, for an all titanium watch, I think that's
Yeah, with a
nice
great sizing
option.
system, Sapphire, Swiss movement.
yeah. There's
Yeah.
a Solida SW 200.
Yeah, and that's not as expensive as you'll see those run in other watches.
Well, there are more affordable options out
There
there
are,
as
yeah,
well,
of
but
course.
yeah, there are more, or yeah, a lot more expensive options as well. Yeah.
But a solid one. Cool,
Yeah.
very nice. So Thomas, or should I say Dan? No, Thomas. What is your third pick?
My third pick, I thought I'd go well below 2,500 for
Okay,
a change.
okay.
Because it's a very wide segment.
Yeah,
so
true,
I thought,
true.
let's do an affordable pick as well. I've got another micro brand for you from another pair of very likable people.
Mhm.
And it's the Laurier Hydra GMT.
Mm.
Oh yes,
And it's got this 41 millimeter asymmetrical case with a sort of the crown built into the flank a little bit.
Yeah.
It's got an acrylic crystal, as is always the case with Laurier, because it's very vintage inspired. It's got the Miota 9075 caliber, so that
Cool.
means you get a Flyer GMT for $599.
That's very nice.
Which is nuts, if you ask me.
fantastic.
And the thing is, I mean, if you get into all these sort of more homage style micro brands, then sure, you can find, as in the specs versus price wise,
Yeah.
high value watches.
Yeah.
But I can't be bothered, to be honest, without meaning to sound well. Let me not go. But Laurier is sort of original in its styling.
Yes.
They do take inspiration from vintage watches, and they do it very openly. They'll usually post like 3 vintage watches and say these 3 inspired what we did here.
Okay.
But then the result is still always something with a face of its own and an identity of its own, and this is no exception. And I got to review it, and it was a fantastic watch. And if you're intimidated by a 41 millimeter diameter, then I can tell you don't be, because it's the bezel is smaller as well because of the asymmetrical case. But still, it's very ergonomic. It's very nicely contoured to the wrist, so it wears perfectly fine. If it's at 39, I'd believe it as well. Yeah. But yeah, $600 and you get a Flyer GMT with a cool styling and decently made. I mean, you don't get the refinements that you get in the higher segment, of course, like the finishing and stuff. It's all a bit coarser, but as you would expect, but they sort of shave off the cost in a clever way. They don't skimp on stuff you really want. So I think if you're on a bit of a budget, this is a very very solid pick.
Yeah, nice. Hey, at the same time, when you look at other comparable options from more mainstream brands at that price point, say whatever Seiko has at the moment around that sort of 500 to 600 price point, you also see that there you're not getting those refinements, and probably with this
it's just not possible at that price.
Exactly
Simple as that.
But it is an interesting thing to see that really a lot of our picks have been microbrands so far, or at least the majority of them have been microbrands, and it does feel as though it's
I'm the exception here, I guess.
No, true. Yeah, Mito, Timex, and Tag Heuer. You've left all the microbrands out. No, but it's interesting to see how. If we had done this episode maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago, it would have been a lot easier to include great watches from a lot of the more usual names. Yet, we see a lot of these microbrands be our picks, and I mean, we pick them because they're the ones that come to mind, the ones that we like at that price point. So, in that sense, And speaking of which, here's another microbrand for you. My third pick is the Econutra Rivanera, which is really I guess it's a dress watch.
It is,
technically
dress watch on steroids.
Exactly. Well, it's my kind of dress watch. It's basically a matte, and polished titanium tank-like dress watch with a really interesting look to it. There's a black dial version and there's a gray dial version. I think probably would gravitate more towards the gray dial version. That's very sort of monotone in the way that it looks, but in a really cool way. I think those came in, and we had seen what Econutra have done before. They focused a lot on sports watches, and suddenly this came a little bit out of left field, and we were all very impressed by it. And I still think about those, and so I had to put them in here. They're 1,490 euros. So I think it slots in nicely to the selection. And just a cool I thought I'd have something different there, otherwise I'm just going to end up with another dive watch. So that's my third pick for the list.
Cool,
nice. Any honorable mentions from you guys? Any watches you'd like to tip the hat towards?
Well, I had the Doxa Sub 200 with the polished bezel series.
Those new ones,
which is 1,150 euros.
Cool.
And the Oris Big Crown Pointer Date, which is 2,000 euros with the Salida movement inside.
Are those the new ones that came out of Watches and Wonders?
Yeah, they're
those
40
really
millimeters.
Cool. Yeah,
but the only thing I don't like about them is that they reserved the yellow, lilac, and very harsh blue colors for the Salida models.
Right.
And the Caliber 400 models have slightly nicer colors on the dial.
Right. I do like that lilac one. That purple
the lilac is nice.
Very, very
it's
cool.
It's more like grayish purple. It's nice.
Yeah. That was actually the elusive honorable mention that I was looking for earlier. That was actually what it was.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I was going nuts trying to look for it, and you found it. So
nice.
Nice. Very, very cool. Any other honorable mentions?
No, those were all more expensive, so I'll leave those out.
Fair enough. Thomas,
I have a mainstream brand honorable mention. I mean, I mentioned Longines earlier, which is typically sort of the brand I associate with this segment.
Yeah.
They have the Longines Spirit, which is sort of a Gada watch thing on a steel bracelet. My pick would be the 37 millimeter model, but that's actually quite a bit over budget. But if you go for the 40 millimeter model, which has the exact same feature set, and it's a bit bigger, then it's 2,350.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So it's a bit weird. But I mean, the 37 one I think is nicer. It's better proportioned. But
It's the same movement?
I think so.
What's the delta of price? What are we talking about? $500?
I think it was about 350 or something. The
Okay.
difference. It was quite significant.
Interesting.
They're both chronometers, so yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. Still, solid pick. I think at 40 it still works well. It's kind of that
Yeah,
sort of
yeah.
field watch, almost going into a pilot watch kind of thing. And those are great looking pieces. I remember seeing the titanium one a while back. That's definitely way over budget, but really nice. Really,
I think
cool.
where they shine is in finishing.
Yes.
No pun intended. But their brushing and the transitions between surfaces, really nice and sharp, and it's actually, I think, almost best in class, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. Those spirits, I don't know what they do there, but it's really they're remarkably well finished, especially given the price point. Cool, nice.
And you?
I have one honorable mention, which is it comes in under a technicality, and it's the Zin U50 SDR, specifically the SDR version, which is with a black bezel. And that one on a strap is 2,410. No bracelet for me. The bracelet puts it at 2,635. So yeah, we'll have to put that one buy it on a strap, put it on a NATO, and then you're cooking with gas, right? So, but I do like the Zin. I mean, ideally, it's the U50 SDR tegimented. That's the one. That's the one to go for. But I think that's already 2.7, starting at 2.7. So.
That's another that will inevitably end up in your collection at some point.
I think so. Yeah, Zin is definitely Aquastar, Doxa, Zin. There's a few brands there that I'm just. There's no stress because I know eventually it's going to happen. So I'm just waiting till the right moment comes. Yeah,
you're letting the watch come to you.
Might be the T50 though.
That's cool.
Titanium.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Sword hands. Oh,
not the U-boat Stahl.
Yeah, I like a bit of U-boat style, but I also like a titanium. So yeah, no, let's see. No, but cool. But those are great picks. Thanks, guys, for sharing them. Let's jump on to our comment of the week, which comes from Siktgray Elegata.
Okay.
Yeah. Interesting
Works
username. I actually exclude people's comments based on the username because if it's just completely convoluted and impossible to pronounce, I'll just think, that's not going to happen.
That's discrimination.
It is discrimination, and I'm in charge.
What if
so
that's
I can
their
do it.
actual name?
No, well, maybe.
What if Elon Musk is their dad?
Exactly. I mean, it could be. That guy's got like 14 kids or something. Anyway, let's not go there.
He's got
50?
2 more now.
15.
Right. 2 more now.
Yeah, but they're all called underscore hashtag
underscore.
4.
It's like a password, like a Google recommended password.
Yeah, well, anyway.
Maybe that's what he uses. Anyway, let's get to the comment from Siktgray, who says, great talk and a lot of valid points, referring to our podcast on our watch brands doing too much. At the same time, we should not forget that more choice and more watches isn't intrinsically bad. There are probably more choice and quality available now than ever. Which is true. Yeah, true. We are very spoiled, but we're still gonna rant about it for half an hour on a podcast.
We're spoiled and whiny.
Exactly. No, all but right. that is a really good point to raise, and it's true. I think the picks that we see today as well prove that point, and it goes to show that hey, the more the merrier. But cool. Nice. Hey, well, thanks, guys, for sharing your picks. We encourage, as always, that anybody tuning in shares theirs in the comment section below. And, of course, as always, tune in next week for another episode of Fratello Talks. See you then.